Okay, normally when you actually draw additional parts to your project, you would draw the part in its own part file. We're going to take a different approach today, and we're going to use a sketch from the assembly saved as a block and then opened up in a new part file. This is kind of a new way to do it, but you can do it because you can get dimensions off the assembly, which will guide the design of the next part. So I'm going to go ahead and select this top surface here and set myself normal to that surface. I'm going to come over here to sketch inside my assembly, and I'm going to say create a new sketch. So I'll say sketch here, and I'm going to create one. Now, to get started, what I might want to do is to go ahead and create some construction lines. So what I'll do here is I'll create a horizontal line as a construction line, and I'll go on to infinite. And then I'll come over here, make sure I'm set to infinite. So I'll come down here and I'll snap to the triad or the datum right there. Okay, so that's putting me a construction line in. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to place a regular line here inside of this. So I'm going to snap to this one edge, come across here and just arbitrarily draw this sketch in, kind of get a look and feel for what I want. So now I'll get out of that command, hit the escape key, I'll come back in it to again, and I'll continue the sketch from this side. Now you could have done it either way, it doesn't really matter, but you've got that sketch in. Now let's come in at this point and create some smart dimensions. So I'll go to my smart dimension command, and I'll come down here and snap to this edge of the Romanogi and come off of it here. And as you can tell, if I zoom out, let me go ahead and set myself to shaded wireframe. So you can tell I'm set at 0.23 of an inch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to key in 0.25 of an inch and come over here and do the same on this side over here as well. Snap to that, and that's set to 0.2. I'm going to say 0.25 there. So now I've got my dimension set 1/4 of an inch off the edge of the Romanogi, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that, and then now I'm going to come up and draw myself a circle here, and I'll come off of this. Let's zoom up here on this real close so we can see it. I'm going to come off of this. Let me escape it, I did that wrong. I'll do my circle, and I'll come off somewhere up in here and just draw me a circle. It's no big deal. So now I'm going to key in the dimension 0.125 divided by 2 so I can get the actual radius of that circle and accept that. Now it's best if I do that to come back and add to that. I'm going to add a 30-second to that. So I'll say plus 0.0. Actually, let's not do it that way. Let me get out of this real quick. Go ahead and accept that circle. And I'll do a smart dimension here on the circle. You got to have some clearance. If you're using a bolt or a screw that has it's an 1/8 of an inch, like you see here, you got to get some clearance for the screw to clear. Otherwise, it's going to rub up against the hole. So I'm going to say plus 0.03125, which is a 32nd of an inch. So I'll go ahead and hit OK in there, and so it's increased the size of that. And that's good. So now I'm going to give another smart dimension, except that actually I'm going to move this dimension over here out of the way, and I'll put a smart dimension in here from the center of this circle to let me get this. Let me make sure I got that. I've got a point going there. We'll get us from the center of the circle here to the edge of the steel, and I'm going to come off of that. I'm going to say off of that 0.3125. That's 5/16 that direction. Then I'll do the same in the opposite direction here. I'll come off of that part. Now right now I'm set into a diameter, into an angle. So I'm going to get out of that. Let's go back here and try this again. So I'll select this edge here, go to the center of the circle, and again key in 0.3125. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and accept that. And now I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to come over here to this edge, and I'm going to draft right off this circle. So let me get some of these dimensions out of the way here. I'll move that down. I'll move this radius. Actually, I'll leave that there. I'll move this diameter up out of the way. Pull him back down a little bit so we can see him. Now I'm going to draft me another circle. I'm just going to come off this edge right here because that makes me completely collinear with that one there. And I know that going on the bottom edge here, I'm going to be at the right distance. So let's go back to Smart Dimension. Let's roll up on this using our middle mouse button. We'll zoom up. I'll click on this edge here, and I'll click on that edge, and I'm going to come off of that. I'll probably come off of that 0.5. That's half an inch. The reason I'm coming off a half an inch is so that way I've got clearance to get my drill down into that to tighten it up, or screwdriver. Okay, now as I zoom out here, I need to figure out that diameter. So let's go click on that dimension again, and all we're going to do is do a Control-C to copy, roll back out, go ahead and accept that, and then come over here and create a smart dimension for this particular circle here, which is our hole for drawing our part that we're going to use to screw into the wood base. So then just do a Control-V to paste that in and accept that. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll accept that. We're going to zoom out now. So everything is looking really good on this sketch. So we'll quickly rebuild our sketch, and I'm going to give this sketch a name. I'll double click on sketch 1 over here because I'm actually in an assembly. So I'm going to click on that again, actually just single click on it hard, and I'm going to call this, do that again, base plate sketch. Okay, got that. And now I'm going to, now that I've got that done, I'm going to go back in and select this guy here. Whoops, select that guy right there, edit that sketch. And now I'm going to mirror entities, making sure that the copy checkbox is selected. I'm going to select that line there, that line there, that one line highlighted in orange, this circle, and let me sure I get that circle. Got that circle. Then I'll come over here and I got that circle. So I'm going to mirror about that center line right there. So I'll mirror that. I'll go ahead and accept that. And so now I've got my base plate sketch. So again, let's rebuild our drawing, our assembly, and we'll save our assembly. Okay? And now you have this arbitrary sketch laying out here. What I want to do now is select that sketch. I want to come up here to Tools, and I'm going to come down here where it says Blocks, and I'm going to save that as a block. So we're going to call that base plate sketch. We're going to make sure that we're in the right folder. We're going to come over here and scroll down. So you're actually kind of going outside of SolidWorks right here. We'll go back to my tutorials folder. We'll go over here to Bookend, and we're going to save that sketch in there. It says SLDBLK. That's a SolidWorks sketch. We'll save that. Now we'll double check that it's in our folder. So open this guy up, go to Bookend, and check that out. Let me do that one more time. Open up that folder, select on it, and we're going to scroll down here and we're going to find that Bookend sketch. It should be somewhere in here. There it is, base plate sketch SLDBLK. That's good. That's what we want. So now what I'm going to do is, now that I've got that, I'm going to get back into SolidWorks here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and now delete that sketch because I no longer need it. Accept that, and we're good. All right.